As many of you know, we do a little bit of everything here, and I work on a little bit of everything myself. And that's everything from engine builds to tuning, from import cars to domestic, and even diesels now. Yeah, I got a 6-liter Power Stroke. But for today, we are going to be working on my buddy TJ's car. If you aren't familiar with this car, we turboed it a little over a year ago with the HKS turbo kit for the FRS BRZ. And it's been running great ever since. It was tuned by Zach at CSG, Counter Space Garage. Do you miss it? The car's making a little over probably 320, 330 horsepower. It's running good. He daily drives the car. But for today, since he's got quite a few miles on it, he's starting to get up there like 110,000 miles. We're gonna start doing a little bit of maintenance today. So this is kind of gonna be a light video. I'm gonna be doing the transmission service, the rear differential service. He's got some noise in his front end links. So we're gonna be replacing the front sway bar end links with some Race Star end links. I can't remember the exact name of them. I apologize. But we're gonna be doing that as well as the steering motor bushing, which is up underneath this front steering column. I gotta drop the whole steering wheel, steering column assembly, and then undo 2 bolts in the back of that. It's a little bit of a process. It's gonna take some time, but we're gonna be doing all of that today here in this video. And if yours is making any of the noises, I'm gonna drive it here, see if I can replicate the noises for you. So yeah, basically a little bit of maintenance and some simple part replacements today, and he should be back on the road and dialed in 100% once again. Again, these parts are just wear items over time. They do go bad, especially the steering bushing. I can't think of the name of that for some reason. Basically, if you have electric power steering in your car and it's like fully electric kind that's in the steering column, you probably have this little star bushing, especially if it's a Toyota or a Hyundai or a Kia. Anyways, we're gonna be replacing that today. But first I'm gonna take it on a quick drive around the block, see if I can replicate any of the noises, because that is first and foremost the most important thing before you do any repair. So with that said, let's get in this thing and let's see what these noises sound like. Okay, for starters, as I understand it, if you turn the wheel back and forth and it makes a clunking noise, your steering motor bushing is probably no bueno. So I'm sure it's normal to make some noise, but this might be a little bit too much. I think that's right on the edge of it starting to go out. It might be starting to crumble a little bit. Okay, now let's go ahead and drive the thing, because in order to test the sway bar end links, pretty much have to drive it, and we have to find some small bumps in the road. And usually with small bumps in the road, it literally sounds like a rattle. Okay, so we're coming up to some bumps here. Usually, I don't really hear anything, TJ. Usually, if the sway bar end links are bad, you can grab your steering wheel and rock the steering wheel back and forth and get the car kind of doing this sway motion. Sway bar end link, right? Actually almost sounds pretty good. I don't really hear anything. Okay, so for starters, we're going to be replacing the steering motor bushing. And basically, it's way up under here. So this panel has to come off, steering column and steering wheel all get dropped down. This gets taken off, and everything underneath basically gets pulled down. So we'll just get started on it. You get the picture. Plastic pry tool is very important to have with stuff like this. There's that. Oh, you know what? Before we go any further, because I just realized I'm probably going to have to disconnect a couple other little doodads in here, we are going to disconnect the battery. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Well, I guess now you guys get to see the turbo kit installed. There it is. It's just like we left it. We're going to be replacing that air filter too, by the way. So I got to get back there. And away we go. No more worky. All right, so now I feel a little more comfortable with disconnecting some of this stuff here because this goes directly to the steering column. Okay, so in case you missed it, you probably didn't see it. Basically, I took my pry tool, I put it in here, just lift up on that, and then we can lift up on this. Oh, come on, maybe it's gotta go a little bit more. There we go. Can lift up and out. That should slide right out. Pretty straightforward, right? Right. There we go. Okay, I'm not sure how much you guys can actually see here, but there's a bolt right here that has to be taken out, as well as this one here and this one here. Should allow the entire motor to drop with this steering column here and the whole steering wheel assembly as well. So with all the connectors out of the way, disconnected and everything else, I'm going to undo that one there first, which looks like it's not a 17 like I thought it was. It's probably like a 14. Okay, so after much deliberation, it seems as though this bolt here comes out once the rest of it drops down. Apparently, by loosening up these bolts, it will give me enough room, just enough room, to slide that out of there. I don't know if I buy it or not. We'll see what happens though. Let's carry on removing these two bolts up here now. A lot of funny things, you know? So let's see if this actually works. Got it. So I will say just a few key notes here. You don't have to remove this. Obviously, I did it by just lifting this up. You don't need to remove any of the connectors for the brake pedal. And as far as the 14mm that goes this way through the steering column assembly, you loosen it up all the way, and then the two 14s in the front come out all the way. You pull the steering column down, and then you use the steering column motor as a little bit of leverage, not too much because you can really bend that bracket. Pull it down ever so slightly, and then that 14mm that goes this way will come right out the side. Now, let's carry on with replacing the bushing on the steering column motor, which is back there yet. So I'll probably, I don't know, tape this thing up or something so I can get back in there. Oh, that's not too bad. There's one. It was actually easier to drop it to get to the last bolt, and then once it's loose and out, just pull this whole thing up and out of the way. And this is the electric motor part of it. Okay, so I'm gonna slide you guys up in here really carefully. If you look down in there, you can see all the little green marks, the green shavings. That is what was once the steering column bushing. So it is totally toast in this car. So good call on that, TJ. We're gonna be putting a new one in here and putting this all back together. I would say try to clean it out as best as possible before you remove the big piece. And there you have it. So that little green bushing in the middle is actually what just completely disintegrated. Okay, so everything is all set up here. Now it's just a matter of sliding it right back up where it needs to. I want to put that bolt in first, at least get it started. And then once I get that started, I'll put these two in. And then once these two are in, then I'll finish that one up. I'll probably have to get some pliers down here to squeeze this together because it did bend this bracket a little bit. That's just part of the process of removing it. The only other way to do it would be to completely remove the entire brake pedal assembly, which is completely ridiculous. So with that said, let's start putting this thing back together here. Okay, y'all, I'm only gonna show you this once. Tricks of the trade here. I got my little mirror. You can see on the back side where the hole is. The bolt's on this side because this thing can be a pain going back in. The whole trick is to line up that bolt on this side and get that bracket where it needs to be and then push the bolt all the way through, and then you can turn around and get it started. Little tricks of the trade that'll help you go a long way. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for the steering column, motor, coupler, bushing. I've given up, whatever you want to call it, the little star bushing that goes down there. It's replaced, it's done, it's ready to go, everything's back together now. That means first thing tomorrow morning, after I get some other chores done, we are going to be doing the front sway bar end links, as well as flushing the transmission and the differential fluid. I'm gonna start on that tomorrow. This is gonna be it for tonight, and I'll catch y'all in the meantime. Okay, so if you don't know, you're gonna know, because what mostly everyone swaps their trans fluid and differential fluid out for is the Gear 300 from Motul. So if you don't have this going into your car, you're probably missing out, and you might be putting something crap in there. So without further ado, let's get this thing knocked out. Holy crap. It's ridiculously tight. Woo. Yeah, there we go. Got all of it. She's full. She's full. So what we're gonna do here is swap these guys out for these. These look very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. So how it looks like it's gonna have to go is this one's pretty much gonna be bottomed out. Just to even come close to this one. but you know, it's not really the end of the world. It's probably better that it's that way. Okay, if you must know, I use part of VIM toolkit. It's a very small ratchet. It allows me to get a little tiny Allen key back in there on the back side of this guy right here. So it fits right in there, and then it locks in this stud so it doesn't spin the whole ball joint with the nut as I'm trying to unscrew it. Very, very handy little toolkit I got here. Just saved my butt. So now when I lower the car, basically I just want to make sure that the heim joints are mostly centered. They're not bottoming out on the top or the bottom. But based on how the old sway bar end links were sitting in here, this should be pretty much right on the money. And they feel like it's extended upwards and downwards. So by the time the car sits on the ground and they squish together, the sway bar lifts up, that is, it'll kind of push them at more of a direct angle, so it'll be 90 degrees perpendicular to the back side of the sway bar end link, which is ultimately how you want your sway bar end links to fit. That's why they make adjustable ones, because once you lower the car, it changes the angle that the sway bar end links come through their little locking nut here. That should do it. TJ, it looks like you're about ready for some new sway bar end link bushings too, bud. Those look pretty, they're getting to be pretty worn right there. So that might be in the near future, but we'll save that for another time, obviously. Let's go ahead and get the wheels back on this thing and get this thing back on the road. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for TJ's FRS. I gotta be honest though, I did test drive the car, but I did not film it, and therefore I did not really film an outro, so here we are. But yeah, everything worked out smooth. That's gonna do it for the end of this video, you guys. If you aren't following along already, I'm actually about to start the turbo build on my BRZ itself. This is my daily driver. I've owned it for over 10 years, so if you aren't already subscribed, be sure to smash that subscribe button for me and hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. We'll catch y'all next time.